jump in. Hi, folks. My name is Whaley. I'm the co-founder and CRO here at Teal. With me, I have my partner, Reid Johnston. He is our technology expert, and we are here again this month to talk about Copilot. And Reid, we have some awesome stuff to show this week, this month in less than 20 minutes. And
Yeah,
at the end, I'll show something that I'm using, and you'll walk me through how to show it.
sounds good. All right.
All right,
I
share
will
your
share my,
screen. Let's get started. A lot of this stuff has to do with Copilot, but it's really awesome.
yeah. So we're going to start off in Excel. A lot of us use Excel every day. I have a simple spreadsheet here of different states. And when we typically use Copilot in Excel, we're using that Copilot side panel over to the right. Just like in any Microsoft app, you can open up Copilot and you can type in, summarize this data, and Copilot's going to look at the spreadsheet. It might take some different actions. But today, we're actually going to talk about if I'm in a cell, look, there's my summary, 12 states in total, I guess.
Did you click
Alphabetically.
something to get that, Reid?
Yeah, I hit the Copilot button over here on the right, and
Right.
then I just typed that in. Yeah. But what I wanted to show was that's kind of the old way. And here's the new way. The new way is if I'm in a cell, I can type equals Copilot. And you'll see I get a little pop-up here that says Frontier. So this is part of the Microsoft Frontier program, which is their early access tools. So we're part of that program. And you can actually be part of that program as any small business by going into your admin portal and accepting some stuff and turning that on. And that gives you access to this. So this is rolling out soon. But the neat part about this is I can type Copilot, and then I can start working on a prompt that will interact with my Excel data and actually create data in my cells. So let's make a simple prompt. What is the capital of this state? And then a little comma to add some context, and I'm going to add my cell for my context. Now I can close this. Copilot will think for a second, and it'll give me Montgomery, Alabama. So then I can drag this down just like any other Excel formula, and it's going to run a dozen other Copilot prompts to return that data. So think about the use cases here. You could have you're filling out a spreadsheet, you need some data about location information, maybe sentiment analysis. I've got another example for that here. This is just a sample spreadsheet of customer CSAT responses, where all the responses are here, different sources, when was the response left, who was the user, and this is all fictitious stuff. But I typed in a prompt here equals Copilot, perform a simple sentiment analysis of the comment and let me know if the customer is happy, neutral, or sad. And then I referenced my little cell right here. So I can drag this down, and Copilot is going to do a sentiment analysis on each one of these rows. Look at that. I could
That
take it
is
a step further, and I
that
could
is
say,
awesome.
yeah,
It
that is
just
pretty neat.
I didn't quite catch the formula. The this happy, sad, those are specific words you added to the formula, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was
Happy,
specific.
neutral, or sad. Okay,
Yeah,
those are the
happy, neutral,
choices.
or sad. Yeah. Um, I'm going to exit out of that. So you could take it a step further where what should I do about the response they gave me? So provide a suggestion for a next step we can take based on the response. And then again, I'm going to reference my uh, text response cell, close that. And now let's see what we get here. Oh, and I bet I have to wrap my text. Yeah, here we go. Thank the customer. Ask if they'd like to share their experience on social media. Let's drag this down a little bit. Get a few more. So here they said the service was terrible. They were sad. Consider conducting a customer service training session to improve service quality. I'm so disappointed with their customer support. Consider reaching out to the customer support team with specific details. Yeah. So it's giving me some suggestions. So the cool part about this is I don't have to interact with Copilot on the right-hand side. I can actually use equals Copilot inside of Excel, and it will populate my cells with data based on the prompt that I put in. That's pretty cool.
That's very cool. But could you do that from the right side?
Um, let's try it.
So, for example, one of the things we were talking about the other day was how to turn all, like, let's say you pulled in your credit card, you exported your credit card, it would all come in negative numbers. How do you change them all to positive?
Yeah, that's agent mode. That's next. We're going to
Okay,
cover that next.
okay.
But so here's a similar prompt. So I said, give me a summary of sentiment for rows 2 through 4 in column A. So here it reviewed the same information. See that in my output? And then it gave me the positive, negative response. But this, when you're in the side panel, it's like summary mode, summarizing. And now I've got to take this data and I've got to put it somewhere else. When you use that equals Copilot right inside of Excel, you're putting the output exactly where you want it in your spreadsheet. And that's the really cool part. So you're basically taking this side panel and you're putting it right where you want. So that's the first thing we wanted to show.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm gathering from this is we could have used this as the business case analysis when we showed just the side panel.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's very cool business use case.
Yep.
All right. So next we wanted to get to what I was just asking about. I think I was getting ahead of a little bit.
Yeah, you're getting a little ahead of us. That's okay. That's okay. So I've got another spreadsheet here. So I grabbed a sample financial data spreadsheet. I went to some website, downloaded spreadsheet that shows, type of account, business unit. Looks like this is the revenues over a period of time. And what we wanted to talk about here is something called agent mode in Excel. So we covered equals Copilot, we covered the side panel, and now let's talk about agent mode. So I'm going to click on Copilot again in my toolbar. And in the little tools section of where I type in my prompt, I'm going to select agent mode. What agent mode lets you do is tell Copilot to make changes to your workbook. So I can click on this and it takes a second to open up. But now I could say highlight every number greater than 10,000. And what it's going to do is Copilot's not just going to read the data from a spreadsheet, it's actually going to make changes to my spreadsheet based on my prompt. And this should hopefully come up pretty quick. There we go.
But that is something to note that sometimes it doesn't come up quick because it's actually thinking through it.
It's going through it. So it's telling me that I've got a lot of rows in here. But there you go. It highlighted the cells that are greater than $10,000. So there's a variety of ways to do this. If you're an Excel guru, you can go into, data conditional formatting. You can do stuff like that. But you gave an example yesterday when we were talking about you download a spreadsheet, all the numbers are really negative numbers. You want to convert them to positive numbers or something like that. And that's what you could do with agent mode, making simple edits to your spreadsheet. But I'll show you an example of something really powerful. So I can go in and I could say, I want a dashboard. I want you to look at all of that data and create a dashboard. I'm going to copy a prompt in here, right here. I'm going to say, create a simple dashboard for the data represented here showing trends and key points. Same thing I would do if I was using some advanced financial analysis tool. And Copilot's going to sit here, and this is going to take a while. When I ran this earlier, prepping for this, it sat for about 5 minutes. So I've got the output, that I can show you. So here's a financial performance dashboard, and Copilot made this. It looked at the data and it organized annual sales by business unit per year, expenses per year, profitability analysis. It gave me total revenue, total profit, and other data points. Gave me some graphs as well. All of that, all of this from a simple one little sentence prompt. And see, it's working on it now. It would take too long if we just sat here and wait for it. But I wanted to show what the output was. And this is
Can
pretty
you show
amazing.
the original spreadsheet and then show the output just so folks can see it
Yeah.
again?
So
So
here's a spreadsheet.
that's just some sample spreadsheet, but
Yeah. Found it online.
it looks similar to some of the advanced spreadsheets that Jill makes.
So what it's doing here is it's working through this prompt. It's outputting, it's creating this new dashboard live. You can see it's step 3. If I scroll down, you can see kind of how it is reasoning over the request. Now it's generating some graphs. Expense by distribution. Now, if I gave it a more clear prompt with specifics, I could get a really nice output, exactly what I want, rather than just kind of whatever it's going to come up with. Because here it put, in this example, it put the KPIs at the top here. And in the one I did the other day, it put KPIs down here at the bottom. So
Interesting. Yeah.
same prompt, different, different output. The numbers are the same. That's good. At least it's not making up the numbers, but it's generating a different type of, now I've got a margin trend over time, just what it came up with. So agent mode in Excel, you could use a simple use case where you want to do some highlighting or maybe some simple reformatting, type that in your Copilot prompt, or something more advanced like creating a dashboard.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a simple prompt, and then you're going to get a really nice looking output in a matter of a couple minutes.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let me show a couple more things because we only have a few minutes left. So I'll share my screen real quick and we'll get into connecting HubSpot to third-party applications.
Yeah.
Sharing now. Reid,
So
can you see
this is an
this?
example of connecting your Copilot to outside data sources like your CRM, HubSpot, Salesforce, something else.
Can you see my screen, Reid?
Not yet. There we go. It's loading up. There we go.
Okay.
Yep. Now I see it.
So here we are in Copilot. One of the things that I think I've mentioned in the past, but if you don't know, we use HubSpot on the sales and marketing team for doing sales and marketing. So one of the things Reid helped me do weeks ago is connect my Copilot to HubSpot. And the way to do that is you go into Researcher, which we've talked about before on webinars, and then you can choose sources.
Yep.
And here's a whole bunch of different sources that you can connect to. As you can see right here, Reid, you see that we are connected to HubSpot.
Yep.
And then do you want to talk a little bit about how we got connected there and what Frontier is? Well, you
Yeah.
talked a little bit already about Frontier.
Yeah, so again, we're part of the Frontier program. And if you scroll down, you can see Microsoft has already injected other data connection points that are available to us that you're not connected to, like Google Calendar, Google Sheets, Intercom. We don't use some of those services, but you had HubSpot there and you hit connect and then you authenticated with HubSpot. And now HubSpot is a data source for you in Copilot. So when you
Right.
type in a prompt, you can.
So I can do a prompt like
Yeah.
how many deals are open in HubSpot.
Mhm.
And with my typing, you can see why Reid does most of the demoing. But this will take some time. But first, it will come back and will ask me some other questions about what it is that I'm looking for, which pipeline it is, And then I can answer, short or long report, use best judgment. So now this will run, and because it's researcher or other reasons, it will take some time. So I pre-ran this last week. Um, and you can see I just got this, I got a pop-up earlier that's when it needs attention. I have to go back and answer for it. And then Reid, I think what we wanted to show here is when it was running, and I did put in the Teal pipeline, showing that it is actually going into the HubSpot connection. This is reasoning, so I don't have to show it, but we could show it to show that it actually is looking in HubSpot, and then it'll give me a report in the Teal in a specific pipeline which we have inside of HubSpot.
Yeah.
There's 3 deals open, and I'll just scroll through this quickly because some of this is sort of backstage data. But we can ask all sorts of interesting questions now about what's happening in HubSpot with certain prospects or customers and that sort of thing. So the point here is really to show that there are third-party applications you can connect to Copilot.
Yep.
It's pretty easy to do, and if they're not listed here, they may not be preloaded inside of Microsoft 365, and there still may be a connection.
Yep.
Is there anything else that we wanted to say on that, Reid?
No, not on that, other than connecting to external data sources is really powerful. We use Copilot because it connects to our SharePoint, our OneDrive, our Teams, our Outlook, all of that. But we've got these other systems that we use, and bringing that data in and allowing Copilot to reason over that data is powerful. Now, I think you're finding that it's a little slow right now because it's going back and forth and kind of over and over before it gives a response. But I'm sure that'll improve over time. And then you'll have more of a single pane of glass.
Yeah, and I probably shouldn't have unshared my screen, but when I dropped down to say connect to HubSpot, there were about 10 other things that it was connected to. So to speed it up, if I only, like in that query, how many deals are open, I really only needed to look at HubSpot. But there were other things it was looking at. So I could have turned those off and it would have sped it up.
Yep.
Also, if I'm looking to write a proposal, not only do I want to look at HubSpot and what my interactions have been along the sales cycle, but also look in our SharePoint at data we have in our marketing and sales directory about what differentiate us and those sort of things, as well as my email and potentially my Teams calls and transcripts and Teams. And by connecting Copilot to HubSpot, it's already connected to our Microsoft 365 tenant, so it just makes it so powerful. I get a lot of information.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Cool. Anything else for today, Reid?
Well, we've got a quick one on selecting different agent models, if you want, or different chat models.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that one.
So here I am, I'm back in Copilot, and when you type in a prompt, you probably don't pay much attention to what else is on the screen, but in the upper right-hand corner, it says auto here. And the thing I wanted to show is you can actually select quick response or think deeper. And if I go down to more, I can actually see what model it's using. Now, just the other day, I could see the Claude model and Anthropic's model, or Anthropic Claude here. I don't see it today for some reason. I don't know why. But I've noticed that if I change from auto to think deeper and just use think deeper most of the time, if I'm not in a time crunch, I'll get a better response. It's not nearly as slow as the researcher agent because that's a reasoning agent that's kind of going over and over and over the data. But if I use think deeper here, I get a much more thorough, much more detailed response, and it's a lot faster than researcher. So I just wanted to show that when you're in Copilot and you're chatting, we always tell people to pay attention to work or web. Work is your files, web is anything but your files, right? But pay attention to that drop down and change it from auto to think deeper or quick response. It'll tailor your output for what you're looking for.
Yeah, so just to clarify, when you do connect to an external source like I showed, you have to be in researcher mode.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
so folks know the difference, because if I go, and I don't want to take the time because we're about approaching our 20-minute limit, but
Mhm.
if I was to not go into researcher and say, look in HubSpot and tell me how many deals are open, what is going to come back is directions for me to visit, to like go into HubSpot and
Right.
open this page in HubSpot, go to deals. So it'll give me directions. It won't give me the answer. So,
Yeah.
all right, Reid, we pushed the limit today, but that was a lot of cool stuff, especially the stuff you showed and making dashboards. I mean, this is rhetorical. What impact is that going to have on dashboarding tools?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good question.
I'm known
We,
for good questions.
yeah, we pay for a few different tools that generate dashboards.
Yeah.
So
And they're great. They're great tools.
they are great.
So,
Yep.
all right, folks, thanks for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Reid or I, and we appreciate your time. Reid, thanks for sharing your expertise with us once again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a great day.